Hey Valley Middle, welcome back to another G67 math video. Tonight we're going to be doing probably the most important video or target in the 7th grade curriculum. That's adding and subtracting negative integers. All right, before we do that though, let's start with our trivia question of the day. Here we go. What does this logo stand for? Now don't tell me it stands for soccer, I know that. But what do the letters FIFA, or the letters that create the word FIFA, or the acronym FIFA, stand for? We'll be back with the answer to that trivia question after our instruction tonight. Officially tonight, our target is, I can add and subtract positive and negative integers. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do this thing. All right, starting off with a real-life problem here today. Lucky Lucy goes to the casino on her 18th birthday. She loses $50 in 5 minutes on the blackjack tables, and then $25 over the next hour on the slot machines. How much money did she lose? Well, I know that many of you would just say, well, hey, she lost 50 plus 25, that's $75 that she lost. But because she's losing that money, we can also think of that as negative numbers. It's one of those real-life examples. So we can think about it. Here's the negative $50 she lost right away. And then we were going to subtract another $25 that she lost, giving us a total of negative $75. Another way of thinking about that is thinking about, here's the first $50 that she lost, and we're going to add to that another $25 in debt or going in the hole for a total of a negative $75. Okay? So I think of losing money as a negative. I think of when I charge something on my credit card, that's money that I owe, so I think of that as debt, and debt is often thought of as a negative number. And it's just one of the real-life examples that'll help you understand what we're doing today, if you need to put some context around it. But there are two things you need to know before I even get into the 3 rules that are most important to know when adding and subtracting negative integers. First of all, you need to understand what absolute value is. Absolute value is the distance from 0 on a number line. Take a look at here. 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3. It's 3 units or 3 little jumps to 0 on a number line. Negative 7, the absolute value of that is 7. It's 7 places from 0 or 7 units from 0 on the number line. Take a look down here. Here's an example where I actually put a number line. The absolute value of negative 4 is 4. It's 4 units from 0. Just like the absolute value of 5 is, I think I had one too many whistles there, but the absolute value of that is 5. It's the distance from 0 on a number line. All right, now wrap your mind around this one. Which one is bigger, the absolute value of 3 or the absolute value of 7? You're right. The absolute value of negative 7 is actually greater than the absolute value of 3 because the distance from 0 is 7 units versus 3 units. Do you understand that? Okay, that's important to know. I'll come back to it in a little bit. It's on the 3rd rule. All right, the next thing that you need to know is that subtracting is the same thing as adding a negative. And we talked about this in the casino example. 10 minus 4 is equal to 6. It's the exact same thing as 10 plus a negative 4. Okay, same thing. Sometimes test makers, math teachers will write and start putting whether something is positive or negative in parentheses to again try to confuse you. This is a positive 10 plus a negative 4. It's the exact same thing. Here's another one. Here's a positive 10. We're going to subtract a positive 4. Now, this one is still positive. We just didn't mark it positive. If it's not marked negative, then it is positive. But all of these things are equal. Subtracting is the same thing as adding a negative. You got that down? You got thing 1? Thing 1 was absolute value. Thing 2, subtracting is the same thing as adding a negative. All right, now we're ready for the first rule. The first rule is you'll hit me with the double shot. Sorry, it's supposed to be your best shot, but I'm ad-libbing here. All right, here we go. Rule number 1, the double shot. Here it is. It says that 3 minus a negative 2 is actually equal to 5. 3 minus a negative 2 is the exact same thing as 3 plus 2. They are identical. Ask your parents. It's from a movie. They may have seen it. Identical. They are the exact same thing. Yes, they are. Why do we call it the double shot? Well, my G67 kids, when I was teaching this, I would always take and go 3 minus a minus 2. Let's see, that's It's 3 plus 2 is equal to 5. They thought that sounded like a shot, so we started calling it the double shot. And it's a nice way of remembering it. It is a double shot. Let's see if you can do the double shot. Try these two problems for me, please. Did you double shot it? Psh, psh. That's really 4 plus 3. That's 7. Try this one. Psh, psh. That's 6 plus 2. That's 8. Nice job. You've just mastered the first rule of adding and subtracting negative integers. All right, rule 2. Rule 2 says same signs, add and keep. What the heck? I don't understand that. Same signs. 4 is a positive number and 2 is a positive number. 4 plus 2 equals 6. And if you don't understand that, I'll just have my friend Tom come over and rap you on the head with the 2x4. No, sorry, that's from a movie too. Ask your parents. All right, 4 plus 2. These are both positive. You just add them. They have the same signs. They're both positives. Take a look at this one here. This is 3 minus a minus 7. Double shot it. Psh, psh. It's 3 plus 7. We're adding the same signs together. So whenever the signs are the same, the positive or negative signs, you just add it and keep the sign. These were both positive. 3 plus 7 is 10. And it's a positive 10 because these are both positive. The next example is a little different. Take a look. A negative 3 minus 4. Well, we can think about that because subtracting is the same thing as adding a negative. We can think about that as a negative 3 plus a negative 4. They both have the same signs. Add them together. 3 plus 4 is 7. Keep the sign. They're both negative. Negative 7. Let's take a visual look at this one. I won't do this with all problems, but it is kind of cool to look at it. We're at 3 here, and we're going to add 7. So, of course, we're moving to the right. Adding, we move to the right on the number line. Here, we're at negative 3, and we're subtracting. Or we're adding a negative. If you add a negative or subtract, you move to the left on the number line. Okay? That visual helps me, but the rules help me more. All right. Rule 1, double shot. Psh, psh. Rule 2, same signs. Add and keep. Try these examples. See how you do. I see dead people. Okay. Negative 10 minus 3. Same signs. Add and keep. Negative 13. 10 plus 3 is 13. Keep the sign. It's negative. All right. Negative 24 minus 26. I got negative 50. How'd you do? Negative 14 minus a minus 6. Or 14 minus a negative 6. It's really 14 plus 6. Did you remember the double shot? Did you remember the first rule? Double shot! Double shot! 14 minus a negative 6 is the same thing as 14 plus 6. Sorry, that's from Saturday Night Live. Ask your parents about it. There's a lot of ask your parents things in this video tonight. It's because I'm so old. They'll go, I'm sorry, I don't remember that show. Grandpa Dudley is too old. All right. Rule number 3. Different signs, find the difference. Now remember, difference means subtract. So different signs, find the difference, and then you keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. So this is the most difficult of the rules, but let's just work through some examples, and we're going to start off with something really easy. 6 minus 3. Now these are different signs here. This is a positive, and this is a negative. So let's take a look at it. That's really the same as 6 plus a negative 3, right? Okay, so the difference between 6 and 3, 6 minus 3, is 3. Now, we know that the answer is going to be 3. Now we have to figure out, is it positive or negative? Well, the absolute value of 6 is 6. The absolute value of negative 3 is 3. The positive number here has a greater absolute value, so we're going to keep it as a positive 3. Did you follow me on that? This has a greater absolute value. It's more positive than this is negative. Another way to think about it. All right, next one. Negative 3 plus 7. Let's think about this now. All right, so the difference is 4 because 7 minus 3, I find the difference. It doesn't matter if I subtract backwards here. 7 minus 3 is 4. So I know my answer is going to be 4. Was it positive or negative? Let's think about it. The absolute value of 7 is greater than the absolute value of negative 3, so I'm going to keep the positive sign. Negative 3 plus 7 is 4. Here's another one. Now we have negative 7 minus a negative 2. Okay, remember the double shot, that's really negative 7 plus 2. Now the difference between negative 7 and 2, 7 minus 2, the difference is 5. Now is the answer going to be positive or negative? Well, let's think about it. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7, and that's greater than the absolute value of 2, so the answer is going to be negative 5. Are you with me? All right, I think I got one more. 8 minus 20. Well, let's think about it. That's the same as 8 plus a negative 20. So I have different signs here, so I'm going to find the difference. Finding the difference is subtracting. So 20 minus 8 is 12. I know my answer is going to be 12. The question is it positive or negative? Well, the absolute value of negative 20 is greater than the absolute value of 8. So there's more negative there, so this is going to be a negative 12. Did you follow me? All right. I think it's time for you to try a couple of them. All right, I put the little reminder there. Different signs, find the difference. Keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. Go ahead and get it a shot. All right, negative 16 plus 3. Negative 13. Different signs, find the difference. The difference between these two is 13, and it is negative. Go ahead and do this next one. Negative 50. The difference is 50. 75 minus 25 is 50, and this is greater absolute value, negative 50. Here we go. Did you remember the double shot? This is really the same as negative 26 plus 6. They're different signs. The difference is 20, and it's negative 20 because negative 26 has a greater absolute value. All right, we've gotten through all of them. Just a little bit more practice for those people who really like seeing things visual on a number line. Remember, I talked about this early. If you're adding, you're going to move to the right on the number line. If you're adding a negative or subtracting, you're going to move to the left. Let's take a look at 3 examples. 8 minus 5, which is really the same as if you want to think about that as 8 plus a negative 5. We're at 8, subtract or add a negative. We're going back 5 spaces. We're at 3. Here's another one. 5 minus a minus 4. That's the same as 5 plus 4. That's a double shot. We're at 5. We're adding, so we're going to the right. We're over at 9. Last one. Negative 2 minus 6. Now, these are the same signs. Minus and a minus. So we're just going to add them. 2 plus 6 is 8, and we're going to keep that negative. But on the number line, we're at a negative 2. We're adding a negative 6, and so we're moving to the left because we're adding a negative. Remember these things. If we add, we move to the right. If you're adding a negative or you're subtracting, move to the left on your number line. All right. Just a couple of quick problems for you to try, kind of a quick quiz. Why don't you go ahead and try these 4 problems. I've got a number line there and a little cheat sheet up here if you choose to use the number line, or you can use my rules, or both. Negative 2 plus 3, that's really 1. Negative 5 plus 4, that's a negative 1, because this is more negative. The difference between 5 and 4, that's 1, and this is more negative. The absolute value is greater. 5 minus a minus 3, well, that's going to be 8. That's a double shot. This one here is a double shot, and it's going to be 7, negative 7 plus 4. So you have to find the difference between 7 and, negative 7 plus 3. The difference between them is 4, and it's a negative because negative 7 has a greater absolute value. Quick review. I know you're being so patient with me tonight. Thing 1, remember, absolute value, the distance from 0. Thing 2, subtracting is the same as adding a negative. Rule number 1, hit me with the double shot. Psh, psh. Double shot. Subtracting a negative is just like adding. Psh, psh. Remember that. Rule 2, same signs, add and keep. Negative 2 minus 3. These are the same signs. We just add them together. 2 plus 3 is 5, and we keep that sign. It's a negative 5. Rule 3, different signs, find the difference. 6 minus 12. These are different signs. This is a positive 6, and this is a negative 12. When we add them, when we have different signs, we find the difference. 12 minus 6 is 6. This has a greater absolute value, so the answer is negative. We keep the sign of the number with the greatest absolute value. All right, time for your ticket to the show, and it's a different ticket to the show. I'd like you to write the 3 rules down in your notebook neatly, and memorize them. These are so important. Thank you so much for listening. Tonight's trivia question: what does FIFA stand for? Fédération Internationale de Football Association. That's kind of somewhere between a French and Italian accent. I don't know what it was. Fédération Internationale de Football Association. Hey, it's soccer. That's what I told ya. Thanks for listening. Have a great evening.